to Worms and Warriors, and welcome back to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. It's October the 8th, 1861, and this is episode 7 of this playthrough. This is my 5th or 6th playthrough of this game. We're playing as the Confederate States of America. We started in the summer of 1861. It's October now, like I said. We are heading into winter quarters, and we've just fought a nice battle in Virginia. Things are shaping up quite nicely for the war. Let's go ahead with a quick overview of the front lines. They're pretty much where you would expect them to be. We're at the border of Arkansas and Missouri, Tennessee and Kentucky. We are indeed, this is our main focus at the moment. We're recruiting troops into Van Dorn's army of Eastern Tennessee, which is going to be our invasion force for Kentucky. So Van Dorn is going to push up into Kentucky, see what he can get done, while Albert City Johnston, right here in western Tennessee, just kind of north of Memphis, he's going to keep these armies busy, these Union armies, which are just over the river here in Illinois at Cairo. They are an unknown quantity up to a point. We've got a couple of ships up here, you know, kind of scouting around and seeing what we can see. So we think there's about 25,000 Union troops there at the moment. The Union outnumber us fairly substantially, which of course is a problem and will continue to be a problem throughout the game, which is part and parcel of being the Confederate States of America in this game. But anyway, so, yeah, we've got Albert City Johnston here. He hasn't got 20,000 men even, 19,500. So he's going to keep these guys busy while Van Dorn does his thing in Kentucky. There's another army up here. We think it's a small force, possibly somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 men. But then, I mean, Van Dorn's force is not huge either, 12,900 men once he gets all those guys in there. While I was talking about this, in Arkansas, we've got two small forces as well. Well, one real small force, 11,800 men with 4 guns only under Sterling Price. And then the Trans-Mississippi Department, which is the recruiting department for this region, where we're recruiting 4,000 men, give or take, with 12 guns, much needed for this force. Once they're in there, I think we're going to push into Missouri. And just while I'm talking about this, one of the rear units was requested to shift into the Eastern Department, which I've done. So, Randall, that's your boys, moved over into Virginia. So we've got the Western Department here also recruiting just under 3,000 men, but it's much needed artillery, so 11 guns. We need to work on the artillery reforms really to get the larger units. Then moving off to the east here, this is obviously the premier theatre, if you like. We've got a small force in Western Virginia, which is now under Polk. I've reorganised slightly here, so I've moved. Who was in charge of this before that? Garnett. I've moved him out of there, so he'd be available for another command somewhere else. No, so he's available. He's a decent commander, and he's available now, and he'll be used somewhere else. This gives Polk a command and keeps him out of trouble. But really, these guys here are not going to do anything. Less than 2,000 men. They're pretty much just there as a token force. We've got 3 fairly large corps in this eastern part of Virginia. This is where most of the fighting's been happening. Let's have a look what we've got here. We've got the Shenandoah Corps under Albert City Johnston. They're pulling back up into the Shenandoah Valley. We've got the Northern Virginia Corps under Beauregard, and then the Southern Virginia Corps under Magruder. So as you can see, 8,500 men for Magruder, 21,000 for Beauregard. He's been doing a lot of fighting, so they're carrying around 2,600 sick and wounded men. So almost 2,000 men are wounded, 743 are sick. The Shenandoah Corps, 13,900 men, so about 14,000. And we've got 481 men sick in this force. Additionally, we are recruiting troops into the Eastern Department. It's going to be 5,800 men once we've got those boys in there. We're going to send them down for a fight at Fort Monroe. Now, they may well not capture Fort Monroe, especially since there's almost 5,000 Union troops in Fort Monroe, but we're going to give it a go. Fort Sheffield, I know it's not a field force as such, but there's 3,146 men in there, or there will be once the latest brigade arrives. So a decent little fort force that's going to guard Richmond for us. Looks to me like Washington is fairly open, but we do know they've got the Department of Pennsylvania up here somewhere, which is larger than all of our armies. We've got the Army of Occupation here. This is McClellan's force, 26,000 men. So you see what I'm saying about the Army of the Northwest being a token force. I mean, what are they going to do against that? Nothing. West Virginia Militia up there is going to have 6,500 men, so even that, it vastly outnumbers Polk's force. So I'm not making any real effort to stay in military control of West Virginia at the moment. The Navy. Let's have a quick look at the Navy. We're recruiting, well, we're building a bunch of ships here. CSS Virginia, 10-gun casemate ironclad ram. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but that's under construction, so it's at 53%. We've got CSS Freedom, a frigate, at 49% as well. So this is going to be like kind of the main part of our blockade-busting fleet. We're going to put these guys into the James River Squadron, which is this squadron right here. We'll do a little bit of shifting about because I think like ships like CSS George Page going to be no use for that kind of fight at all. Jamestown might well be useful. It does have 9 guns and it's a large ship, but I mean like Patrick Henry, for example, 6 guns, medium steamer, and the small steamer with 5 guns. I mean, what's that going to do? Pamlico, however, is a cotton-clad ram, which is a useful ship. So there's that. It's been about a week since the last episode. This is why I'm doing a little bit more of an in-depth overview. You may have forgotten what's happened, or if you're new here, you may not even have a clue what I'm talking about. And if you are new here, why not check out the channel and subscribe if you like what you see. Go back and watch the rest of the episodes in this series. Like I said, this is episode 7. It's been good fun so far, this series, actually. Probably my favourite one that I've played so far. That's it. That's the overview done here. Let's just have one quick look at policies and projects, and then we'll get moving. So we're working currently on Militia Act 2. That's going to lead us to the Conscription Act. But this is going to be a while. However, since we're hitting winter quarters, I feel like it's a decent place to be. It means we're going to have limited fighting. We're going to have a little bit of time to restock, hopefully, and get some more recruits on the go. As well as, let's lead straight into this, we'll have new weapons arriving. So at the moment, we've got 12-pound howitzers on order. The game started with these on order. 131 days for 75 12-pound howitzers. 131 days for 75 24-pound howitzers. Now, these howitzers are not amazing, but they are way better than the 6-pounder basic field artillery. We've got Mississippi rifles on order and Plains rifles on order. Let's have a look what we got here. 221 days for 10,000 Mississippis. Rebore muskets as well. 257 days for 10,000 of those. Plains rifles, 221 days. So it's a way away, but they should be ready for the next campaign and season, which is good because we've got nothing in terms of weapons projects. We've got nothing available at the moment. We're working towards imported weapons. Now, I'm going to go with Austrian rifles first, I think, because they only need 2.5 million funding, which is going to be pretty close. The alternative is to hang on for British rifles, which is, it takes 5 million in funding, which is like obviously double, but the weapons are better. So I don't know. I'm leaning towards Austrian weapons. I usually take Austrian weapons, but I may not. We'll decide when we get closer to there. Other than that, we're also working on organisation reform. And we're going to be working on carbines for the cavalry, logistics reforms, I mean everything basically. Cavalry reforms, recruiting officers, we need everything. It takes too long in this game, I think. This kind of stuff takes too long. And, you know, we should really be starting the game with the ability to import weapons from Britain, as the Confederacy did in real life, of course. Cavalry reform 1 and 2, this we'll be working on those. But again, I mean, it all takes a long time to come together. Too long as far as I'm concerned. What else have we got? We'll be working on farm mechanization, wherever the heck that is. Farm mechanization. That frees up more recruits. So for each level, you get 10% more volunteers available. And of course, you make more money and food from your farms. So that's something we're working towards, all those things. Let's get going here. Let's get started with this campaign and press play. We're going to see where McDowell's army retreats to. Hopefully somewhere not too inconvenient. To the north. That makes sense, at least. Now, we could push on with Beauregard, but he's carrying so many wounded men. I mean, over 10% of his force is wounded or sick. We're just going to leave them sitting for now. We're also constructing a fort right here. Magruder's doing that for us. Not really ready for any further action in Tennessee just now. We're sending the Mississippi Battle Squadron under Rousseau up towards St. Louis just to see what we can spot. So he's gone to Leesburg, even though oh no, is he going? Yeah, how's that under their control? So I am actually going to maybe move up and see if we can chase him out of Virginia. Mississippi River Squadron in retreat. Oh, that's theirs. I was going to say, is that ours? 2 enemy ships sunk. 2 ships have been sunk, 1 captured. Okay, so they've obviously engaged or come across a Union fleet here on the river, which is fine. It'd be nice if you get a notification for that, of course. So they're now at low readiness. What did we capture? This thing. William H. Brown. What did we lose? Not sure. I'm going to send that to the pool to get fixed up. And we'll leave these guys to it. Or can we pull them back to friendly territory? We cannot. Okay. We've got 2 brigades of infantry ready in the Trans-Mississippi. That's good. However, the artillery is really what we need. 11 days for Hardman's battalion. So much needed recruits for Price's forces. Takes them to 15,000 men. So once we get these guns in here, I mean, granted they're just 6-pounders, but, you know, what can you do? We've got Frank Huger with his guys from the Indian Territory. 6-pound field guns. Like I say, we've got nothing to give them, unfortunately. And then the other battalion of artillery is from Missouri. Again, a distinct lack of artillery here. 6 guns. Lack of weapons. Mixed muskets almost all around. We've got 1 unit here, Chalmers Brigade, with Springfield rifle muskets. But other than that, we've got nothing. Capture those on the battlefield. So at least we've driven him out of Virginia. He's pushing up towards there. So we're going to go back down here. He's moving by river. Yeah, we're back at Manassas there. That's okay. Letting him recuperate. We've already managed to bring some soldiers back. We've got a hospital down here, but of course, it's not really in range for these boys. It'd be handy if we had one at Fredericksburg, but I'm not building a second one right there. Apologies if the sound is a bit off in this episode. I've just had to re-verify the file, so it's always a little bit dodgy after that. October the 14th. Are we going to see any more action in this campaign and season? Fort Bouton. Bouton? Bouton. Boughton. Fort Boughton. Let's call it Boughton. It's ready in Virginia. Okay, so that's cool. That's here at Fredericksburg. So let's put somebody in that. We need a half-decent commander. Somebody who's not great, but somebody, you know, who's going to be reliable in there. What about Sterling A.M. Wood? Yeah, he looks like a man for that job. We'll give him a brigade from somewhere. Well, from where? That's the question. We've got nobody really. I mean, North Carolina's got 3,800 men. I was kind of saving those. South Carolina. The 2 Carolinas, I kind of kept them back. All right, well, let's bring in some Louisiana boys there. Artillery. 1 battery. I know it's not going to do much. Not in the Buford, though. Yeah, that guy looks more like it. So, small garrison in there, but, I mean, Magruder's going to be knocking around this place for the moment. I'm just going to adjust this sound down a bit. I think it's too loud. I've already knocked the music and video right down. Alright. Okay, screw it. So Archer's guns are ready. Let's get them transferred into the Army of East Tennessee, sorry. Some much needed artillery. I mean, I know it's only 5 guns, but, you know, that definitely makes a difference when you only had 6 to start with. What about this infantry? How long are they going to be? 11 days. 18 days for Morgan's Raiders from Kentucky. Alright. Stand Waity, almost ready as well with his native troops. Nice. So we're going to be pushing into Kentucky. Maybe we'll save it for the next campaign season. 3-year contracts for the Union. That's not good news. Some ships have been constructed here. CSS Bienville. Let's have a look what that is. It's a bunch of these already. Actually, there's these little small paddle steamer gunboats. Part of our scouting network, or rather what will become our scouting network. We've got the Arkansas Squadron here, which is 1 ship, just kind of hanging around Little Rock, keeping an eye on things. If it means we could spot the Union if they come down via Batesville and Brownsville, you know. Because you never know what's happening in Missouri. We've got no idea, really. Constructing the Arkansas Squadron here. Arkansas Squadron. The New Orleans Squadron here. It's a couple of double-enders getting built. And I'm gonna recruit a few more of these little scout squadrons. I'll cut back in when that's done. Alright, so I've constructed a few more of these scouting squadrons, just with these paddle steamers in them, and we'll get them out and about once they're ready. Helps keep an eye on things. So we're going to try for a quick crack at Springfield just before the end of this campaign and season. Not for any real reason of holding it. I just want to cause them some problems. If we can take it and push him back north, hopefully that'll then divert some of these troops from Cairo into Missouri. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see how this goes. I suspect it might be a disaster, but, you know, you've got to do something. We've got 15,245 men. Oh, no. Let's not. That was a mistake because they've only got their 4 guns. That's what I'm waiting for here. 2. It's not going to be this campaign season. After all, we're going to have to wait because these guns are not ready. And I cannot send them up there with 4 guns. That just can't happen. We've almost finished the depot here. This is going to give us some nice supply for this region. Van Dorn is ready, but it is kicking on a little time-wise. If we move Van Dorn up, maybe we can take Munfordville. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so a bunch of these already now. Maybe they weren't quite finished before. Jackson North Railroad Depot. Okay, so that's done. Cool. Have we captured Munfordville? Yeah, we've taken Munfordville. Nice. So perhaps if we power up there, we could go so far as to take Louisville. Let's try it. See what happens. So we are taking Louisville, but I mean, that's by no means certain that we'll succeed with that. Let's blockade St. Louis. Again, not sure how effective that'll be, but, you know, it's bound to help a little. Not sure why it's not blockaded, but it should be. Ah. So they are on the move here. I'm not sure where they're going exactly. We're blockading up here. Where are they going? Hardman's guns are ready. It's too late in the year to press an attack into Missouri. I'm not sure what these guys are doing, but you know, I think they're moving up towards St. Louis. Maybe I don't see why, because the fleet can't really do anything as such. I expected them to move on the Army of East Tennessee, which is... but this army's gone, so maybe... I think they must be coming down. Let's see what happens here. The Army of Occupation has somehow come down here, and we haven't done anything about that. $31,000 men, okay, well... Let's do something about it. One last fight, maybe, before the winter? I don't particularly want Charles Clark's men... Well, actually, let's do it. Let's move them up. If they're going to get there in time. It's possible. I don't really want them involved in the fight, but it will mean they lose their first battle debuff. If they can get involved in this scrap. We are really desperate for some extra weapons, but we've just gotten out. Charlottesville is in their control somehow. I'm going to move Polk's force there. Alright, yeah, so the Eastern Department is involved here. But with all these 3 forces together, we've still only got 36,000 men. We only just outnumber McClellan's force. Now, these boys should have no supply. They should be absolutely in wretched condition, but will they be? I don't know. It's Beauregard versus McClellan. Let's do this. Battle of Rapidan Bridge, Virginia, October the 30th, 1861. McClellan commands 31,000 men. Although how they managed to get new recruits into this army is ludicrous because they were cut off from the north. So it's just one of them things in this game. It's not realistic, really. Not to mention, they haven't had any supply. So even if they built a depot where they're building a depot right now, that doesn't magically give them supply, because how on earth would the Union get supply down to that depot? It's crazy. Really, really crap, actually. It's one of the things I really hate about this game. Much as I enjoy this game, some things in this game really bother me, and the supply depot thing really bothers me, and this recruiting thing as well. Oh, so because I've verified the files, we're getting the field book coming up. Let's get rid of that. Okay. We are going to attack the enemy, right? Great. In this awful wilderness terrain. I hate this battlefield. It's awful. Anyway, we're going to make the best of it. So he's got 31,000 men and 21 guns. Now, they should have no ammunition or next to no ammunition. They fought a battle. They had their arse kicked. You know, we've got miles to march in this awful, awful terrain. It's just... this battle is going to be a ball ache. But let's get it done. Right, so we're in marching columns. We're going to take Beauregard's Corps over the US ford. In fact, no, let's not. Let's take these boys over this ford over here. We'll take Magruder's force over. Quick run through the troops. Wade Hampton's division, 4,400 men, 5 guns. We've got the Ivory Guard. This is a viewer unit. Mixed musket still, unfortunately. Georgia State Artillery, 12 Napoleons, 12-pounder Napoleons even. 5 of those. And we've also got the Royal Black Watch Regiment, or Brigade, as is the case in this instance, under Frank C. Armstrong. Then we've got Richard Anderson's division, Ruggles Brigade, the 2nd VA Volunteers, and Barksdale's Brigade. We also have Wolfert's Artillery. Nice. Artillery. Cavalry. I keep saying artillery instead of cavalry. Right, and then we've got... who we got here? Okay, so we've got Bonham's division. 7,930 infantry there. 8th Brigade, 6th Brigade, 2nd Brigade, and the 3rd Brigade. Pretty well armed. Then we've got artillery here under Winder. Hill's division. Lewis Armstead, that's the Volunteer High Titus, that's a viewer unit. Supported by some guns as well. Hood's Texas Brigade, mixed muskets. And the Roanoke colonists, they did a nice job in the last battle. We've got Longstreet's division. George Pickett, the 1st Australian Janissaries. Now, they did a real good job in the last fight. Micah Jenkins's 1st Palmetto Sharpshooters. These are pretty experienced troops now. Who else have we got? The Baton Rouge Boys under Richard Taylor. And the Queen's Own Volunteers now under Good Brian. This is his 2nd battle in charge of these guys. They were initially with us, but he unfortunately was wounded in that 1st battle. All right, so there we have it. We're going to have to advance on Hazel Grove and do our best to capture this shithole. Okay, let's get started. And it's another nighttime fight as well. We're starting at 0:16. I'd never had a nighttime fight before. Now I've had 2 in a row. Pretty cool. Okay, so that's those boys on the march. Let's get Magruder over the other ford, and let's get going. Let's also take off initiative for the Corps commanders. And let's go ahead and give out long-range orders to the infantry. No, we can't. Why not? Because we've already given orders, maybe? Or someone suggested maybe because it's nighttime, you can't give long-range orders. It's possible. Let's have a quick look when Charles Clark's boys are due to arrive. I suspect we might actually need them. 2 hours. At least he's come with some cavalry and some guns. I haven't really quite organised these into proper divisions. Only Bartow's infantry division. I hadn't really planned on using these, but, you know, never mind. So we are on the march. Beauregard was right in the front, but he must have thought better of it, and he's pulled back a little. Didn't fancy leading from the front. As I say, pretty much every time we fight an offensive battle, it's harder fighting an offensive battle. Especially when you're outnumbered. As we are right now, actually, we're significantly outnumbered. At least their morale is pretty low, 42, which I think is because of their supply situation. It's got to be. Although the numbers on here are saying 30,000 for the Union, which, I mean, it's still a guess, obviously. But they did say 37,000 pre-battle. Dick Ewell right there in the front. Miles ahead, actually. Jones, next brigade in line. So we're going to have a 2-pronged attack going on. Possibly 3-pronged, if we can do it. So we'll give out long-range orders. I don't know if they'll work. With it being 2:30 a.m. here. However, we'll just attack tomorrow morning. I think that's probably for the best. Clark arrives. Nice. It's a shame I hadn't sorted these out into proper divisions. I mean, at least I did that one infantry division, I suppose, but it would have been handy to have them sorted out properly. Let's get these boys on the field, and then we'll see where we're at and get ourselves organised. Or as near to organised as one of my battles is, which is not that organised. I try, but, you know. So possibly we won't be attacking until dawn, which is fine. That is kind of the one good thing about attacking is you can choose the moment as long as the enemy doesn't push you, which, you know, usually the AI doesn't. Even on this very hard setting. The Baton Rouge boys have been quite battered in the last couple of battles. Only 1,200 of them are mustering for the fight. Okay, so Wooford is here with his cavalry. I'm going to move him forward a little bit, see if we can see anything. Of course, it's only a regiment of cavalry, so we can't deploy scouts, which, you know, really is stupid, because why the heck can't you? We should be able to... Oh, there we are. Okay, we've spotted him. He's not actually on the objective, or at least one of his divisions isn't on the objective. Let's move Bonham forward and see if he can see anything. Artillery will be of limited use. Ah, so there we are. So they're all over the place. He's set up breastworks here facing that way, I mean. Yeah, I suspect these guns are not going to get a shot on anything. Here we are, it's dawn, 5:20 AM. So our boys have marched all night and now they've got to fight a battle. It's saying he's in battle line, but it doesn't seem to me like he is. Unnumber the guns. I doubt we're going to get a shot on anything here. Oh, we are. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to detach the 12-pound guns from this force. Charles Clark's boys are arriving. Okay, AP Hill. Let's get him forward here. We're going to make a move. AP Hill's moving on here. Bonham. Roanoke colonists are in combat. How many casualties? How they lost 31 men? What the hell is going on here? Moving Wade Hampton up, not so much to fight, but to pin these brigades in place. Hopefully. Get our skirmishers out. A lot of Union guns in this centre. We've got to be wary of it. Taking our time here. I'm not pushing. I'm not trying to rush too much. We are starting to drive the Union back on their right flank. What? Keep up this pressure. Come on, boys. People early. Why are you flashing? We lost 300 men. Come on, what's the problem? Let's get Yule into this fight. Early seems to have sorted himself out. They are moving more troops across. More damn skirmishers. See if we can clear them away. Come on, Randall, get out there. Right. Oh shit. Barksdale. Broken. Oh my gosh. Hood's broken as well. This is not good at all. Everyone's breaking. I think we might have lost this battle. Get Dan Ruggles up there. This is the thing, I mean, our boys are running after taking 400 casualties. These guys take, like, almost 1,000 casualties before they even start contemplating withdrawal. Yeah, bloodbath this battle. Okay, so Bartow's boys, brand new troops, but they're going to get blooded here. Just managed to swing around the rear. Now I remember there was a brigade over here. If they push again, then that could be an issue. Alright, Australian Janissaries doing a good job with their sharpshooter perk on there. Push up, boys. Good job. A lot of casualties, of course, but, you know, it was a hard one. Quite a hard attack to make, this one. Let's get the Black Watch into the flank of the 3rd Brigade. Got the Ivory Guard moving in as well. Come on, let's push these boys out of here. Got goods veterans here, the Queen's Own moving in. Jubilees come around the back. Baton Rouge boys. Minor casualties, doing a nice job of smashing the Union troops away. Yeah, they're pulling out, okay. So there was a little moment there where I thought things weren't going to go our way, but I think we've sorted that out. We have lost quite a lot of troops here, more than I would have liked. I mismanaged the cavalry, that was a problem. Oh. The volunteer high-tiders, I didn't... Oh, yeah, I remember they broke. Experienced unit, 400 casualties. It's a shame they ran. I mean, I was surprised that they did. Well, at least a little surprised. I'm hoping we at least capture some decent weapons here. That would be good. Let's just get going. We'll ×2 it since it's just kind of a mopping up operation here. It's good that we managed to blood some of the new troops. Shame Bledsoe's battery didn't arrive in time to take part in the battle. But, you know, that's okay. So following on from this, how McClellan's force could possibly be considered a viable fighting force anymore is beyond me. I mean, really, they were just scattered the hills, I'm sure. Huge casualties, totally cut off. But, I mean, they won't. But, you know, they should. Alright, so that went pretty well. Sadly, I've got no cavalry here to write anyone down because we've spent our cavalry, or rather, I have messed it up and lost our cavalry. It was an okay battle. It was a shambles, as these attacks in the wilderness quite often are. It's a difficult map. The terrain's terrible. But, you know, it was okay. Oh, Major's still there. Damn it. Never engaged them, so we did have some cavalry. Nah, never mind. Never mind. They were probably too far back to do much anyway. Alright, so a minor Confederate victory. They lost 5,000 men. We lost 4,300. That was pretty tough. I thought they would have lost more than that, to be honest. But, you know, it is what it is. It's October the 30th, and we went all right. I'm a bit disappointed with 5,000 casualties for us almost, but that was a large battle. I think that might be the biggest one we've had yet. 30,000 per side. Well, we had almost 40,000. Always tough to attack. Obviously, you're always going to lose some extra men. Colonel Randall's fallen into disgrace. That's my fault, really. I just left him hanging out to dry. Alright, so let's have a little look here what we've got. We captured 2,800 rifles and 9 guns. I hope they're good guns and rifles. We really need some weapons. We lost 4,311 men, 658 killed, 594 missing, the rest wounded. We took 1,000 prisoners, so it's not bad. Let's take a quick look at what we captured in the weapons department. Ah, damn it, no Springfield rifle muskets, that's a shame. Normal Springfield muskets, I mean, alright. A couple of Napoleons. We've got 4 Napoleons now, at least. Maybe that's enough to give out to someone. What else we got? 4 10-pound Parrots. So we captured some decent artillery, at least. And some Springfield muskets, you know, which is not amazing, but... Let's take a look. We could give Van Dorn's guys, what some of them... I mean, all of these guys are mixed muskets except for Chalmers, who've got rifle muskets. Let's go ahead and give out some. Ooh. Let's give out some half-decent weapons to these boys. I say half-decent. Springfield musket, they'll be pretty bad, but they're alright. Better than mixed muskets, just. And that's it. Do we have a 4 battery anywhere? 6 guns, 5 guns. 6 guns. Darn it. No, they're all 5 or 6, it looks like. Ah, 4. Oh, he's already got 10-pound Parrots, never mind. Okay. Ah, 4 12-pound howitzers. Let's upgrade those to 12-pound Napoleons. That's in the Trans-Mississippi Army. Okay, so they've got at least 4 Napoleons. That's all right. let's get Tolliver back down to mixed muskets. I wonder if that then means we've got enough for another brigade in one of the more fighting units, ones that are more likely to fight, to give them Springfield muskets. No, we haven't. We've got 2,200. That's enough for these boys, though. Let's have a look. So we'll give it to Jackson in the Army of Tennessee. Or better yet, Crossland. It's Kentucky Brigade with 49 support, so maybe not those guys. Yeah, let's do it with Jackson. Okay. So at least all these boys have been blooded now. Let's switch Randall out of there. I mean, I know it wasn't his fault, but we'll switch him over with Stewart. Okay, so there we are. Another battle in Virginia. So the Eastern Department, I'm going to pull them back towards Richmond. We'll have a little winter campaign with them against Fort Monroe, but we'll probably have to recruit some more troops into there. Let's see what the Army of Occupation does. I mean, it's crazy that they're still an effective unit. I mean, I know it's 26,000 of them, but they've got no supply. How would they have any supply whatsoever? I mean, supply is fine for us, but they are completely cut off from Union lines. There's no way supply is getting down to there. This is the front lines. They've got no control anywhere here, so how can it be? Let's see where they go. Confederate armies unstoppable. Oh, yeah. Kentucky secedes. That's okay. So that's a nice place to stop it, I think. Where are they going? Like, where on earth are they retreating to? Oh, of course, Charlottesville. And I've told Polk to go there. Let's countermand those orders and just leave him there. So they're going to fall back on Charlottesville. It's kind of giving us a problem because we've got 25,000, 26,000 Union troops right in our rear near Richmond. Now, we need to get rid of them, but how am I going to do that? Just having a quick look at the commanders here. Looking fairly decent. Let's take a look at Beauregard. He must be getting good. Not really. He's not really improved very much. Longstreet's looking good. Maybe I'll replace Beauregard with Longstreet. A.P. Hill. Let's promote him to Brigadier General. He's just a colonel, so I mean, he's going to hit his stats a little bit, I think, but maybe not. Yeah, so he's scuttled off here towards Charlotte. Wherever the heck. No, that's our control now. Where on earth are they going? So I don't know where they're going to magic themselves to. We'll discover that in the next episode. It's Halloween here, October the 31st, 1861, and we're going to call it a day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, why not leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what you thought of my bumbling actions here. Kentucky has seceded from the Union. Nice. So we'll see what the Union does about that in the coming 1862 campaign, or maybe we'll see a winter campaign from the AI. Who knows? But we had some nice bloodbath there at Rapidan Bridge. Almost 10,000 casualties between the two armies. Pretty harsh, pretty awful conditions. But we're going to leave it there. I hope you're having a great day, whatever you're doing. I'll catch you later. See you in the next one. Ta-ra for now.